Hello everyone, Attack Power here with another new update for the upcoming DLC, the Tribute to Normandy 44. If you guys enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Steel Division 2 content, and consider checking out that Patreon link down below to support the channel. And thank you to all my current and past Patreons. It really helps the channel out a lot. Let's dive right in here. So today, we're going over the 101st, very exciting, and the 716th Infantry Division. Hopefully it is related to the 715th and is as awesome as that one, because that would be sick. So yes, I know a lot of you are very excited for this division. Also, yes, I know I'm not wearing my glasses. Great. Thank you very much. Don't need the comment. Okay, I have contacts. Congratulations, me. Anyway, now, 101st Airborne combat history. Much has been written about the illustrious 101st and as the Screaming Eagles established in World War I. The original infantry division was deployed as an airborne unit in 1942. In comparison to the 82nd Airborne, the 101st didn't have any combat experience prior to D-Day. Took part of some noteworthy airborne assaults in World War II, including Operation Overlord, Operation Market Garden, and the Battle of the Bulge. During the landings in Normandy, the 101st seized the exit causeway to Utah Beach while simultaneously securing the left flank anchored on the peninsula. For those who've never seen Band of Brothers, phenomenal miniseries. It's on Netflix right now, I think. Netflix? I want to say Netflix. Yeah, oh yeah, it's on Netflix. Phenomenal. Like, if you've never seen that show, you are missing like one of the best World War II media things of all time by far. 101st Airborne Division was featured in the base game of Steel Division. Let's look at the Screaming Eagles as they would appear in Steel Division 2 as a very light infantry division, more so than any other nation's airborne formations. It has no organic tanks nor anti-air defenses, only a light anti-tank guns and artillery pieces to be found, with its firepower resting almost entirely on its infantry and lighter support weapons such as machine guns and mortars. There's a part of me, before we even get any further, that I'm really concerned this division is just going to be the same as 1st Airborne, like essentially like an identical copy, like obviously with some different, a couple unique units and, different slot costs and everything. But in terms of like the same, like just the same thing otherwise, right? Like just not very different. We can see their airborne plan here, all the cool stuff they did. 101st Airborne can count on various detachments joining the division during the battle on the battlefield during the Normandy campaign, some from D-Day itself. This offsets the lack of heavier units somewhat. All right, let's go through each category. Here's the meat and potatoes. Now, a good amount of slots for recon, including their costs. Okay, so not shocking there. The ubiquitous 50 cal Jeep, you won't use that. As well as the AB Scouts, you probably will use those. And the Pathfinders, probably use those as well. Already featured in the 1st Airborne. Yep, you'll probably use those. The latter unit will be reworked, benefiting both divisions as a 9-man squad with radio. Because 1st Airborne needs a buff? ... Anyway, continuing on, a new unit will be added to this division in Steel Division. Is called the Filthy 13. Oh, that's cool. Check out the Wikipedia page for more information. This unique unit has featured as a single elite heavy demolition squad with recon and shock, and sporting the trademark Mohawk haircut and war face plate. The Filthy 13, although not a pedal troop in real life, were the actual inspiration for the Dirty Dozen movie. Oh yeah, these guys are badass. They really are. They are some badass mofos. From combat, so that's really cool to see these guys in here. From combat phase B onward. Now, I do have a question. Is it literally a single unit or a single unit card? Because they do say just unit here. Although sometimes Eugen kind of uses these two words interchangeably, card, unit. So we will see. I have to assume it's technically one singular unit. It's like a double vet card of this unit, and you get one of them. But I don't know for sure. From Combat Phase B onwards, the 101st can count on the 24th Cavalry Recon Squadron for some support. They bring M8s as well as Scouts in M20 cards. I mean, that's nice. The Scouts are not useful, but the M20 cards with the 50 cals are definitely annoying, and M8s are M8s. I mean, but M8s are generally just better at the beginning of the game. They tend to get a little bit blanked as, the opponent gets dug in and can actually set up the defenses. But that doesn't mean having them is bad. It just means they're going to be less impactful, I think, in B phase. Likewise, a good combination of number of slots and their costs for infantry. Many U.S. airborne squads feature the 1st Airborne Task Force Ruby. So again, this was my concern. It's going to be 10 slots, I'm sure. They're going to be pretty aggressively costed. This is the whole point of this division, right? There are a number of new units, okay? This includes the AB Rifles LMG, which is a new squad featuring an extra M1919A6, okay? So double MG, that's definitely good. Every Airborne Rifle platoon only had one bazooka per 2 squads. This means our current AB Rifles loadout is only true for half of them. This new squad will have their Thompson SMG replaced by M1 carbines. So I actually think the carbines are an upgrade on the top. I mean, the Thompson's very good, but the carbines shooting out to 300 meters actually really helps. Like you get to put out a lot more firepower at those mid ranges, which is really nice. And truthfully, you don't want these units fighting at CQC anyway. So like losing the Thompsons, while it sucks for the times you're stuck in CQC, these aren't really the units you're trying to get like rumbling super close. So I think that's a pretty big net upgrade on the unit. Obviously, losing the bazooka sucks. Like that's a pretty big net negative to the unit. But having a double LMG is really nice because these divisions do lack that very often. Like these American divisions do often lack a double MG unit. And that does make it hard to like go toe to toe with any sort of Panzergrenz, or even like Strelke DP a lot of times can get the better of you in the long range fight because of that double LMG. Although of course you get the M1 Garands, which are phenomenal, semi-automatic rifles, but that still doesn't always make up for the lack of the second LMG. Another new unit is the Glider Rifle Leader, which is a large 10-man squad delivered in trucks or in the, how do you say Duke W? Duck? Probably just Duck W. Also featured on the Glider Rifles. The new AB Converted Gunners, okay? So Airborne Converted Gunners here. The 377th Parachute Field Artillery Battalion lost 11 out of their 12 guns. That's a bummer. During a landing, the artillerymen had to fight on foot. While in Vetlock, they proved quite able and are not hammered by disheartened. So if these are like a 20-point squad of like 12 men with rifles and stuff, like these are probably going to be really good, actually, because they won't even have disheartened. They'll be Vetlocked to whatever, so no veterancy. If your meat shield is not disheartened, that's actually usually pretty darn good, and especially because they'll have M1 Garand, so then they're like really, really good. Think Converted Gunners in any of these American divisions like Task Force 45. Even if you don't have the LMG, walking around with a bunch of M1 Garands can be pretty darn good. But yeah, continue on. Tanks, an average amount of choice here with limited availability and high prices. Okay, I mean, as it should be. The 101st Airborne had a battalion of Sherman DDs allocated to them from D-Day. It was to fight from the beach and link up with the airborne troops. Throughout the campaign, several tank battalions rotated in and out, last one containing Stuarts. Well, that sucks. The division will have the M4DD in A phase only, okay? B phase, you'll have M4A1, including Command Cool, and then in B and C phase, you'll have Stuarts. So does that mean no C phase card of Shermans? Because that's kind of how I read this. Which sucks because Stuarts really are not good. Like they're fine to have around, but they are not very good. They fire way too slowly. Like their fire rate is painfully slow. So yeah, that might suck a little bit. That might really start to lock this division into like a Maverick Vanguard kind of deck. Even though these kind of decks with no like armor and no 18, like these sort of things generally need to be played more aggressively. In Steel Division 2, Normandy 44, the division featured the M22 Locust. We were always under the impression that these armored vehicles were left in the UK ready to unused until late in the war. As a matter of fact, the Locust stayed in the US with only a handful shipped in early 1945 so the British could use, and that's why they have been left out of Steel Division 2. Sad. Support anti-tank, anti-air, artillery, and air. Okay, support. Good amount of slots and choices, includes the usual arsenal of machine gun supplies, commanders, as well as combat phase only elite direct fire M1A1 Pack 75 mil, which represents the one piece that wasn't lost on D-Day, plus the M4105. Wow, you still get 2K tanks. Wow, oh my goodness gracious. They just want every airborne division in the game to absolutely slap everything. Whether it be Fallschirmjägers, or whether it be airborne troops like the U.S. airborne troops, whether it be the British airborne troops. Now, I will say the only airborne troops that suck are VDV. But even them, I mean, the division's still terrible, but the actual units themselves are actually good now because of like the Desaniki now having like the better PP Shahs and like they can really clean up at 15 points. I will say that. The division is still bad, unfortunately, but it feels like every other airborne division in the game, Eugen has decided needs to be an absolute house of destruction. Not very stellar. The anti-tank, not very stellar with less than average allocation of slots in unit. Okay, unlike other airborne divisions, the Americans didn't have a single glider big enough to carry the 75 mil anti-tank. This means the 101st is restricted to bazookas and AB M157 mils. Ooh. One new unit is the AB 37 mil light AT gun, usually attached to the glider, but historically left behind on D-Day. These are very good. 37 mils are lovely. If it's like the French one that you find in Group Dodi, I believe it is, then it's very good. I mean, it's not killing any big tanks, obviously, but it can absolutely shred light stuff. Anti-air, again, not very impressive. In real life, the 101st only had 50 cals. By chance, the self-propelled AA battalion was attached to the airborne troops as soon as the American ground forces exited Utah Beach. This means a complement of M16s and M15 AA half-tracks can be used in this division. I forget which one has the 37 mil, but hopefully it's one of these. If these are both just 50 cal division like units, then that's really bad. That could actually be bad. Honestly, that could actually be really bad. But I'm sure it's not as bad. I'm just forgetting which one of these M's are. I feel like one of them had 37 mils, and that's probably okay then. Unless they restrict it to like B phase or something. But then again, 1st Air Force doesn't get AA until B phase, and they have no issue whatsoever. So what does it matter? Artillery is pretty decent with a good amount of slots. The core of the paratroopers long range fire support comes from the ubiquitous 60 mil and 81 mil mortars, of course. As explained previously, most of the 75 mils were lost. This left the division with only a handful moved to the support category in Combat A Phase A. More were delivered by C later, and thus indirect fire variant will be available at B. That's not even that bad, honestly, because a lot of times you call in the artillery in B and C anyway, so I don't find that to be all that restrictive. It doesn't mean the division is left entirely without howitzers in the opening stage of combat. The airborne soldiers managed to capture a few Germans, from the Germans, a few Beute Soviet ZIS-3 guns. That's not super exciting. From B phase onwards, the division gets heavier support in the 105s and 155. So they have big guns anyway. You don't often call in a 155 in phase A. Yes, sometimes you do, but like very rarely. So this is fine. They make it sound like it's not good. Okay, they said pretty decent. I guess it is very decent. Air support is pretty good. Enough said. Okay, that means it's ridiculous. 101st Airborne can count on a massive P-51 support, either fighter or fighter bomber roles. Heavier air support comes in the B-26 Marauders and P-47 rocket-carrying close air support planes. So is it rockets like AT rockets? Because I'm sure it is. It has to be because they have no other AT. They have no other way to kill a tank. So yeah, you'll have plenty of P-47 rocket planes, which are good AT rocket planes. And the B-26 is a great heavy bomber. P-51s, I can take or leave those. But the B-26s and P-47s are very strong. So yeah, 101st, a light infantry division with excellent infantry, of course, and just a bit of everything else. They say that. I doubt it. I have a feeling this division's going to absolutely wreck. I can't see a paratrooper division anymore and not think it's going to be disgustingly strong. Even with these huge restrictions they try to place on them, they still give them enough to like not have to worry about it. And their infantry slaps so friggin' hard, it doesn't even matter because this game is an infantry meta. So, and that is what it is. I mean, I'm not upset about that part, but it is like it's an infantry meta. So a elite infantry division, even when it's restricted in a whole lot of other ways, doesn't suffer as hard as it should, honestly. But continuing on, the 716th is another 700 division, meaning more of the 15 Vela warriors, much like the 715th. Oh, cool. This looks familiar. This looks more like 17th Divisiona. I know it's not, but it looks like it. That means the men too old, too sick, too crippled for campaign service. Instead, they were restricted to coastal defense duties, meaning with hardly any organic transport, also known as the 700 series. Therefore, the squads and models of these divisions will be the same in forming the core of the 715th. They are inexperienced troops featuring the disheartened trait. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Historically, the 716th, like other divisions along the coast, was given the mission to withstand the first blow of the expected Allied invasion. They should hold and wait for the mighty air and ground counterattack promised by High Command to follow shortly. What really happened was the German intelligence vastly underestimated the Allied firepower and that the massive counterattack by the 21st Panzer quickly petered out. Left to its own devices, the 716th combat history was a short one, being the first line of defense on June 6th, pulled out of the line on June 15, completely gutted. Well, that's not a good sign. 716s were rather unique in Steel Division 2. The division will not feature one tank. Okay. Not a single one. We're just doubling down on that. Okay. Even with the support of the 21st Kampfgruppe Ranch here, bringing some Panzergrens, including armored cars and self-propelled guns, the 716th never received any tank support. Though the division in Steel Division Normandy 44 features the B1, this wasn't very accurate as these older French tanks were on the other side of the peninsula on the Channel Islands. However, while its loss of armor is noticeable, it will receive some units to boost its arsenal. Well, I would hope so, or this division will be absolutely useless. As mentioned above, the division will see a detachment of the Kampfgruppe Ranch's associate units in Combat Phase B. Several Kriegsmarine coastal batteries and personnel were in 716 sector. These will be attached in Combat Phase A. 3 Ost battalions were part of the division, though reported of poor combat value. 2 were Cossack battalions, which gained praise for their spirited counterattacks. And like the originals, some of the 716's best troops were Italian volunteers. These were recruited from Italian POW camps and noted for their energetic defense. So instead of the usual way, the ex-Soviet and Italian troops will be the most reliable in this division, and the German ones will be the least likely to fight. Lots and lots of artillery support. That doesn't make this division good at all. None of these things are making me very excited for this division. All right, Recon Infantry tanks. Let's go. Note that units in bolded and italic are new. Okay. Recon, not particularly noteworthy, with few slots being quite expensive. Well, that sucks. Being static and no Fusilier division, only with BMW started in the new Konolvaka Watcher over the channel squads. These latter 3-man units are armed with an MP40 and FM2429, so a LMG, and a Boise anti-tank rifle, and represent small sentry squads placed in the Tobruk bunkers. Okay. I mean, that's not terrible. The Boise rifle is not good, but it gives you something at the beginning, I guess. Yeah, okay. A single card of Recon only Right Kozakin. Okay. Renamed from Kozakin, courtesy of our ex-Soviet mounted troops. From Combat Phase B onwards, 21st Panzer's Recon Battalion give access to the Aufklär Spähtroop SDKFZ 250/9 and SPW 233. The SPW 233 is definitely nice, but it's late, right? I mean, it just loses a lot of value later in the game because there's more AT and tanks rolling around. All right. Infantry, a good amount of slots for regional price. I would hope so. This is apparently the only thing the division does. The division has access to Grenadier 15Ws, 15th Wave, and Pioneer 15th Wave. I mean, the Pioneers are great. I mean, they're solid. I shouldn't say great. They're solid. Squads with Disheartened. These were already featured in 715. Yep. The Ost battalions include Osttruppen, re-equipped with Soviet weapons, which will affect all divisions featuring the squad. Oh, that's a nerf. That's a bit of a nerf. Because if you're going from MG34 to a DP machine gun, that definitely is not good. The rifles should be the same. The PPSH is better. The PP Shaw, excuse me, not H. PPS. The PP Shaw is definitely an upgrade. Plus new Kozakin and Kozakin Pioneer. Okay, well, I hope these are good. I mean, these could be cool. Local Kriegsmarine Coastal Defense Troops, Cam Marine Infantry, Cam 4, and Disheartened Cam Flaktruppen. Okay, I mean, these are all fine infantry. Nothing incredibly good, but they're fine. Italian POWs who volunteered keep fighting were scattered. We regrouped them into the Italian Freiwillige squad. I apologize. From Combat Phase B, Kampfgruppe Ranch brings Panzergrenadier 4, Panzergren, Panzerfaust, and Sturm Pioneers in half tracks. I mean, it's an interesting mix of infantry, but none of them actually sound like way above curve. You know, like, again, like 101st are getting all these airborne troops that are just disgustingly strong. These are just kind of all normal Axis infantry shoved into one, just like pulled from different places. Like, unless this Italian unit is nuts, which it might be. I mean, Eugen likes making the Italians really, really good. The rest of these, maybe the Kozakin Pioneer might be okay. This Kozakin's probably garbage. It's probably a single machine gun like blue infantry. Osttruppen is okay, I guess. Marine Infantry is okay again. Flaktruppen, okay. Panzergrens are Panzergrens. You know, they're middle of the road. Nothing about this is really lighting my world up. Tank, as they mentioned, no tanks. Okay, it means other categories see a boost in slots, numbers, and cost. Well, I would hope so. honestly. I would really, really hope so. Support, good amount of slots and prices. Lots of machine gun teams. This includes MG34, 42, MG08, MG30, etc. How about you give us some of those autocannons? The Kampflet. Maybe throw those in there for us. That'd be nice. The 50 mil mortar, but no infantry gun. That's terrible, as the division had none. In its place, the division received 4 SDKFZ 135/1s, courtesy of Bachmando Becker. Note, we mentioned these units last week in the verses, but that was mixed up. These units are in 7/16. So it's these, I guess. Okay, cool. You get something 2K. Police unit, whatever. Usual supply commanders. None of this is actually super exciting. Anti-tank, likewise, a pretty good category, plenty of availability and good prices. Division had a range of anti-tank guns. Pack 184, 45 mil, that's great. Pack 38, great. Pack 40, great. Even some Pack 43s. Okay, so that's cool. Small number of self-propelled 75 mil AT guns were also available, of type unknown, but likely stemming from Becker. We decided the new model, the Panzerjäger 39H 7.5 Pack 41 Martyr 1. Jesus. Or known as the Martyr 1 H39 in-game. Okay, that sounds cool. This is a Pack 40 mounted in the hull of a captured French H39 tank. Okay, just another Martyr variant. And then Combat Phase B onward. Kampfgruppe Orange brings some more self-propelled anti-tank guns in the S307 pack. I mean, you got good units there. There's nothing unique, but it is solid. Decent for AA, but limited choice. Only the Flak 38 20 mil and the Flak 36 75 mil will be available. I mean, that's not great. It's not the worst thing ever, again, because you at least get some 75 mils here. But the 20 mils are obviously terrible. So that, yeah, okay. Artillery, rather impressive. Let's see here. It's a pretty short list for rather impressive. World War I style infantry division with bunkers and trenches called pre-sight. Okay, expect to find all origins and calibers, including 100 mil FH 1419, the Czech one. Okay, that's good. Soviet FH 396 122. Okay, the A19's all right. The French K 419 155. Okay, as well as off map. That's not that like crazy cool. Like I was hoping for like Nebelwerfers or some 200 mil stuff or like anything that isn't just this kind of rank and file. There's not even no SK-18s. Oh, this division is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not going to lie. In real life, only a few Focke-Wulf A8s and Me-109s and G6G8s reach the invasion sector. These aircraft will be available from A. The former will be in fighter bomber recon roles. So you'll get Focke-Wulf 190s. That's good. I mean, that's good. You at least get like good airplanes. From Combat B onwards, Ju-87, D3, D5, and even a few cluster-loaded HS-129s will join the fight. Okay, that's definitely good. The latter were rare in Normandy, as only a single Staffel was left at the airfield when the rest of the squadron was transferred. The division will receive a new air unit, the AR-234B2, in the recon role. Oh, come on! This was the first use of these later to be jet bombers and made fast recon. Oh, come on. Come on. Can't they get a cool rocket plane? Oh, boogers. 716 is a very defensive division. Yeah, no crap. Static, a few armored division, and no tanks, being able to bring massive infantry and a lot of artillery. I think this division is going to be terrible. I don't see it. I know already people are going to be like, you never know what they're going to pump out. This looks bad. Like, I don't know what they would do. I mean, the infantry doesn't look amazing. Like, it's not like these are new units. I mean, I know there are a couple here. Like, you know, unless they make these Kazakhstan and stuff just like the most absurd units. Like, unless these Italians and these Kazakhstans are like absolutely nuts, these guys aren't like this isn't that good. Like, this isn't amazing. And this is all the division has is infantry, essentially, and AT guns. That's and artillery. I forgot about artillery. And like, artillery ain't winning games. I mean, it's very helpful, sure, but it's not like having good artillery doesn't like make a division super mega good. It just really helps it out. I mean, even the support tab, if you only get one card of these, if these are, I know they're already in here somewhere. You know, if this card of these things is 2K, which I think it is, but you only get one, so you get 4 of them in A probably. That's it. That's all this has. There's no infantry guns to work with. You get a bunch of machine guns, whatever. Like I said, the AT tab is good. The anti-air tab is honestly not amazing. Like, it isn't. It just isn't. 20 mils in this 75 thing is okay, I think, but not amazing. The artillery tab, great. It's got some cool guns in it, I guess. Focke-Wulfs are nice, but it's not like a phenomenal air tab. There is no tanks to talk about. So, and the recon's also bad. Like, this division seems kind of awful. Not gonna lie. And once again, the 101st probably is gonna slap all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. So far, this DLC is seeming extremely allied based, like extremely allied slanted. None of these Axis divisions seem particularly exciting at all. Just to remind myself, number 2, yeah, Big Red 1 was a jillion times better than Gross Petty. All right, that was, yeah. Oh no, 16th Luftwaffe. Yeah, this one was even worse. This doesn't seem that great at all. Unless they make these Luftwaffe units super good. And then it was, yeah, 4th Armored, and this is the Gross Petty. Yeah, this one, Gross Petty seems okay. Maybe this one feels like the only one that really feels like it might have some legs. But like 4th Armored sounds great. Like the 4th Armored Division sounds great. Big Red 1 sounds freaking nuts. 101st is probably freaking nuts too. Wow. I don't know if they just feel like the Axis are too strong in this game, which I know new people always think they are. The Allies actually, by points and cost efficiency and all that, is technically better. In 10v10, no, Axis is better. But in 1v1, technically the Allies are better. Like, they just are. You get more troops for their costs. And now with all these new DLCs, the Allied divisions are disgustingly strong. You know, 3 of the new Men of Steel divisions, Allied ones, are ridiculously good, and one of the new Axis ones is ridiculously good, and one is good, really good, but maybe not ridiculously. Yeah, I don't know. Leave your thoughts down below. I'm sure you might disagree with me. That's fine. That's just the sense I'm getting the more I read through these things. Every Axis division is just kind of like, okay, and every Allied division is like, oh, I don't want to play against that. So, but anyway, if you guys enjoyed that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting down on Patreon. Thanks a bunch, guys, and have a fantastic day.